All right, it's that time of year again when LAMY is coming out with their special edition All-Star for 2022. I'm going to show you what it looks like because I got my hands on an early sample of it. I can show you what colors of other pens that it's similar to because there's kind of a bunch of them, and what inks will maybe sort of match or at least complement this pen. Stick around and we'll check it out. Hey there, I'm Brian Goulet of gouletpens.com, and this is the umpteenth LAMY special edition release video that I have done for the All-Star Safari Studio, etc. And I'm happy to do another one here for you. So this year, the color for 2022 is called Whitesilver. It's all one word, Whitesilver. LAMY likes to do that every now and then with their special edition colors. So my honest to goodness first impression with this pen, I was a little, maybe just like, oh, okay, silver pen. But once I saw it in person, it actually looks really good because you have the stainless steel nib, you have the steel clip that is already that silver color, rather than those being kind of just a neutral accent with some other color that, you know, complements it but doesn't really match it. This is very consistent throughout. So it has that just very crisp and clean look. If you really like pens where kind of everything matches, I think this one really kind of stands out in that respect. So in my hand, I actually like it more than I thought I would. I also like the All-Star because it's got this smoky translucent grip. This is something that all of the All-Stars have that's been constant throughout, and they continue it on with the Whitesilver. So it comes with the extra fine, and medium stainless steel nibs, same LAMY nibs that you probably are already familiar with or at least have heard a lot about. You can swap it out with a broad or one of the stub nibs, 1.1, 1.5, 1.9, if you're interested in doing so, but it's not gonna come on the pen. All right, so let's talk about what other pens this one can be compared to, because there's kind of a bunch of them. The one that this most closely matches to would be the LAMY All-Star in aluminum. Now this is not available anymore. Biggest difference between these two is going to be the accents. So you've got the black clip, and you also had a black nib on the aluminum, whereas it's all silver, you know, trim pieces on the Whitesilver. The exception of, you got this little, you know, trim piece here between the body and the grip, that's still black. And then the finial as well is black because those pieces are plastic, and to make those look silver colored would basically put it into the territory that the LAMY Luxe would be, which is a more expensive pen. So moving right along here, we have the last year's special edition color, which was the Azure. Much bluer, right? Still a very silvery kind of color. So if you watched the Azure video from last year you saw I compared it to a bunch of other silvery blue kind of pens, because that pen very much leans silver, but it looks really blue next to the Whitesilver. So it kind of makes sense. Not a drastic difference, but if you really liked the Azure and you want something a little more in the silver color, there you go. Next one that I've got, this is the All-Star Graphite. So graphite is definitely darker. This is a regularly available All-Star color. Definitely more in this smoky gray kind of gunmetal color. So that shows you a little bit of basis of comparison there. Next one I have, this is one that I think is probably the closest match to something that's currently regularly available. And this is the LAMY Luxe, or the LX, depending on how you like to say it. And this one is the Palladium color, which when you compare them side by side, these two pens, the Palladium color definitely has more of a yellowish tint to it. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Palladium's got maybe a little bit of that. It's a little warmer color. The Whitesilver is definitely a cool color. The biggest difference there is that you're gonna have, on the Luxe at least, it's kind of a Palladium plated clip and finial up at the top here, whereas you've got the black and then the silver clip here. And then it's got a black Luxe nib as well. Same shape, a slightly different design, but you've got the silver nib here. Silver steel, they're both steel, but that nib on the Whitesilver. And then just for kicks, you know, I pulled the LAMY Studio. This is the stainless steel. Now granted, this is a brushed stainless steel, so as opposed to, you know, a anodized aluminum. So the finish looks a little different, but the overall color scheme is pretty close. Now this pen is like twice the price, but I like it, and I think that aesthetically the pens are pretty well suited for each other. So I just thought it would be kind of fun to show those two next to each other. And then really just for kicks, I have the stainless steel LAMY 2000 as well. Again, really different pen, but you know, maybe if you like kind of the bargain version of that pen, you could consider this one to be similar to that. So there you go, whole bunch of different pens, and honestly there are more, but I had to cut it off somewhere. But those are the Lamy pens, at least, that I have on hand that are at least worthy of comparison to the Whitesilver. All right, so when Lamy comes out with these special editions, it's always something we anticipate, like, oh, are they gonna come out with an ink to match? Because they do that sometimes and it's great, but it's not always a given. Well, they didn't for this one, and kind of understandable, because this is a really, really tough ink color to get it to match because, well, it's a metallic-y silver kind of color. There's really not a lot of fountain pen inks that will match this exactly. However, there's a ton that are gonna complement it really well because it's such a neutral color. So I think pretty much your field is wide open as far as what ink you wanna use in this pen. I do think that like blacks and grays and things like that would be, you know, the most obvious match to me. And I got a couple of those to recommend to you. I think something like Lamy Crystal Obsidian, nice deep dark color. That's something coming from Lamy. Maybe a Sailor Ink Studio 123 would be a nice match, a little bit more of a gray color there. Hey, let's go with a shimmering one. How about Diamine Moon Dust? A gray ink with some gray shimmer to it. Seems appropriate. I also think you could go with something like a blue or a magenta or something like that. Really just go for kind of a color pop. I think this ends up being kind of like a neutral color, almost like a serving dish or something. And then whatever you want to be the feature, that's your ink that you're kind of serving up on the page. I don't know what analogy I'm going with there, but you know, I think basically I'm saying you can use whatever ink you want. All right, so let me know if I'm way off base here or if you're on the same page with me. This is where you can leave a comment on YouTube here and tell me, like, Brian, I totally agree, use whatever ink you want, or hey, you're way off base, man, you totally need to have this ink in there. It's such an obvious match. What are you talking about? Please correct me if I'm wrong, or, you know, give me some props if I'm on the right track on this one, because I really don't know. All right, so pricing and availability from this pen, pretty straightforward. Same deal as all the other Lamy All-Stars. The MSRP is $47. We're gonna have it at Goulet Pens for $37.60. Very oddly specific amount, I admit, but that's what we got. You know, go ahead and sign up for the email notification list on gouletpens.com. We'll have a link in the description, and we can let you know as soon as we get the pen in. As far as how long it'll be around, 9 months, a year, maybe a little longer. It really depends on how many they make, how quickly they sell, and so on. But it's not gonna be forever. And usually with these Lamy pens, they go way up in price in the kind of secondhand market. So if it's anything you're inclined to get, or you really think you might like it, you know, it's such a reliable pen. You're probably not going to regret it if you like the color, like, at all. So let me know what you think. Did Lamy nail it with the Whitesilver, or was there some other color that you think they should do differently? I would love to hear what you think, so please leave your thoughts for me, and my team and I will take a look at it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out this pen as well as so many other fountain pens, ink, paper, and other writing items at gouletpens.com. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all those fun things for these YouTube videos, because we have a whole bunch of them and we plan to make a whole bunch more, and the more you engage and share it, the more people that can benefit from it, and it's tremendous. So there you go, that's what I got for you. Thank you so much, I've had a blast doing this, and right on.